Hawkeye fans, welcome back. Well, the Heroes Trophy is staying in Iowa City. A last-second field goal. Man, that win felt so good. We can't wait to recap that game. We have such a great interview today. Dalles Jacobus is in the building, and he's got a little song to sing for us at the end. So we hope you stick around for that interview. And there won't be a game this week, so we won't have a preview, but we'll chat a little bit about the bowl game and what to expect in the next couple of weeks. Welcome back to Talkin' Hawks, presented by Hills Bank.
No matter where you are in life, Hills Bank is here to help you succeed.
Whether you're buying your first house, saving for your child's future, or preparing for retirement, you can count on the people at Hills Bank for the support you need to reach your goals.
It's easy to connect with a banker in person, over the phone, or on hillsbank.com.
Because we believe banking is better through human connection.
Hills Bank is an equal housing lender and FDIC member.
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
How's it going?
God is good.
We're feeling pretty good this morning. Hawkeye Nation, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Another win, 8-win season.
And a really fun win. It was an interesting back and forth game.
Yeah.
But it was a really good game when it ends that way. It was a very cold game.
Yeah.
Second coldest game in Kinnick Stadium history.
Based on what they said on TV, which the coldest was my freshman year in 2013.
I can attest to it. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it. It was so cold. Yeah. And it was just like bitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I only wore one pair of leggings, which was a huge oversight on my part. Mm-hmm. The top half was super warm. My legs were
cold,
bitter, frozen, done for. But fun game. Night game, blackout, playing Nebraska, senior day, senior night. It was just really fun. The fans were on it. They were so into it.
I can imagine.
I was just looking around at people like, how are you guys having fun right now? Like, no offense to like Hawkeye football in Kinnick Stadium, but like, it's so cold. How are you having that much fun?
They're all going to show up.
I know they always do. But just looking around, it's like, there's 70,000 people in here that are choosing to be this cold. I'm there for my job, but you guys all chose to be that cold.
They might have some liquid courage.
A little bit. That I did not have, unfortunately.
Fortunately.
But everybody was having such a great time, regardless of weather. And just the crowd was great, super loud. Ed Miles was the honorary captain, actually played with our brother-in-law. And let's see, then Dalles Jacobus came down for the wave because his song was played during the wave. So then right after that, I got to interview him on the field, which was super cool and super special. And just really excited for everybody to hear the interview and to hear him sing at the end, because he's just a wonderful person. And I want to do everything that we can do to support him and his music and all of the things. So anyway, the game was great. And you got to watch it probably without the kids.
Without the kids. I recorded it, put them to bed, and then went back out. Mm-hmm. I didn't get live until it was over.
Oh, weird. So
but I can skip through commercials, which is nice.
Yeah. I thought some of the calls were interesting.
Yeah, there were a couple.
From the refs. I was getting a little bit irked. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Because I watched the face mask one.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that defensive pass interference.
Totally.
Okay,
let's just start.
Yeah. There's a couple good things. Obviously, Iowa didn't play their best football until the second half. There were some good things in the first half, but like you mentioned, the defensive pass interference on TJ Hall, I didn't really like the call. I thought it was really good defense.
No, which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the one TJ Hall. He's number 2. He's playing defense. Number 4 from Nebraska makes a move. It's like first or second down. And TJ Hall does a good job jamming him. Number 4 hits number 2's face mask. TJ Hall hits his face mask, and then they call defensive pass interference on us.
Okay.
We're talking about the same play.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't like that call. I thought that Jackson Stratton played decent again. Like, there are some things obviously in his game that are going to continue to get better. But there were the corner route to Jerry Bowie just missed his hands. I don't know. I feel like he could have gotten there, but it's tough. He won inside on an outbreaking route, which is ill-advised just because you're giving up leverage. And I've kind of talked about this before. And I've personally done it and caught the ball, thankfully. But when you go inside, you got to win back out. So now the spacing is just off a little bit more. So he just missed it. And there was one where Jackson threaded the needle in between two Nebraska guys. It was just a little bit back and behind Bowie. He doesn't make the catch. And it's like, we're just so close to making consistent plays. But I thought Jackson Stratton overall played pretty well. The muffed punt was probably the biggest play. We only got a field goal out of it. We didn't score a touchdown, but I don't think people understand how big of a call that is, because the punt returner didn't touch it. It was another guy that came down and touched it. And the reason that's significant is who touches it first. So they said the call stands, which means they couldn't determine who touched it first. So if we touch it first in that instance, let's say, I forget who's diving down there. We touch it and then the Nebraska guy touches it, it's Nebraska ball. Because it's not that we down it, but he can do whatever he wants with the ball because we already touched it. It's not like a kickoff where you just get the ball. So if the Nebraska guy touches it and then we touch it, now it's a fumble. But if we touch it, then he touches it, then they get the ball. So that was a significant call where they couldn't figure out who exactly touched it first. So I don't want that to seamlessly go over that, because that was a massive call in that game. And then obviously we get the field goal. They did a really good job controlling our defensive linemen with the run game. They ran it relatively well. That's something that we're going to, over bowl prep, really continue to work on, but our pass rush with 4 has been really good. And I like that. Max Llewellyn, can't talk enough about. I told you, I love this dude. He's chaotic, and he comes up with the biggest play, setting up Drew Stevens, which the TV broadcast did not show whether or not he made the field goal. Mm-hmm. It was just below the screen. So we're all like, waiting. All of a sudden you see Drew take off, so it's like, all right, he must have made it. Mm-hmm. But how cool for that to end, especially last year. Drew Stevens gets to make the kick this year in Kinnick. Very cool to see that. Didn't necessarily like the way that it started when they didn't shake hands. I have yet to see that work, where a team neglects to shake hands with the other team and then win. Mm-hmm. The only other time I saw it, and I can't remember who Oklahoma was playing, but they refused to shake hands with Baker Mayfield, and then they ended up losing. Mm-hmm. So I thought that whole thing was kind of funny with Jay Higgins and what he said post-game.
Yeah, that post-game was quite funny. They just let it fly. He's like, this is my senior day. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and say how I feel.
And Nick came over, they started talking together about it. Like, you want some more tea?
Yeah, that was very funny. If you haven't seen that clip, you got to go check it out. Yeah, that was cool.
Which Jay had a really big play too. It was like 10-10. At the time, and I think it was like 3rd and 8. Ethan Hurkett is rushing the passer, and Jay Higgins blitzes, but the way that Ethan Hurkett rushes is he dips inside, which brings the tackle inside. There's no help outside of the right tackle, and Jay Higgins actually is able to, as we would say, scrape paint. Instead of having to go wide, he could scrape paint on the near tackle, which basically just lessens the distance he has to run to the QB. Just because Ethan Hurkett dipped inside, it allowed Jay to get there and create pressure, and they weren't able to convert the 3rd and 8, which they then punted to stop a scoring drive. So like there were a lot of really good things that we did. It's just unfortunate that it waited until the second half. Caleb Johnson wasn't able to get going a ton in the run game, but the pass game worked really well, which will kind of lead me to my unsung hero later. But for the most part, like, we played well enough to win. There were some good, some bad. They turned it over twice in true Nebraska fashion. We only had 5 first downs all game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They had 20.
Even just looking at people have been comparing the stats together. It's
unbelievable. Like, that's Iowa.
On Twitter and such. And they're like, hey, just so you know, the team on the right, which is Iowa, won this game.
Unbelievable. They hit some corners and deep routes versus our off coverage. Raiola, like I said, he was kind of lazy with some of his passes. There were some open guys that he missed because he wasn't completely on with his mechanics. So, there were some things that cost them because of the way he did it. He also made some great plays, don't get me wrong, but there were just a couple that he missed just because he wasn't quite as buttoned up on his mechanics like I talked about in the preview.
Okay, these are the other things that I saw. Also, fun fact, did you see that Luke Lachey's dad, Jim Lachey, who does the play-by-play for Ohio State, he has...
It was over 300-something games in a row.
Yeah, he's done 357 consecutive games for Ohio State, and this is the first one that he has missed, and it was for Luke's senior day. Mm-hmm. That was so cool. And he got to be out there on the field to greet him for senior day. The other thing I had here was Iowa was the first FBS team to win a game with 5 or fewer first downs since Arkansas won 14-10 over UNLV in 2001, and they also had only 5. It says FBS teams with 5 or fewer first downs had lost 90 straight games between those 2 wins.
Hey, no one quite to break it.
That's insane.
Shout out to Hawks.
Shout out to the Hawks. Game management, Matt.
Yeah.
Reese played really well too.
Reese Dakin, yeah. When they needed a big punt, he got it.
He delivered, yeah.
And the ball doesn't fly near as good in the cold weather, which is why we didn't kick a field goal earlier with Drew Stevens, which was around that same distance. And we elected to punt it just because it doesn't fly as good. But Drew was feeling it. It's nice. They did want to delay a game at the end of it because technically they called it dead, so he shouldn't have continued, which is what Matt Rule wanted. But kickers are known to like do it anyway. So it's just kind of one of those things that like, hey, they called it dead. If the timeout's late, you're going to get a free one in just to see how your leg feels. Either way, the ball was going in from another 5 yards anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered.
I will say that was a very close. His second kick was quite close. A little scary. Just eked in there.
Yeah, that was about a
What, Matt? What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to think of a bald guy on the team and just say it was one of their hairs. I don't know of any bald guy on the team.
Coach Woods.
Yeah, it was a Coach Woods hair away from missing it.
That's so dumb.
Clip it.
Just don't tag him. We're sorry. Okay.
So that was good.
Anything else?
It's good to end the season like that. You know, Jackson Stratton, now you get the other 15 practices leading up to the bowl game. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that. That's one of the major things, Nebraska going to a bowl game. I don't know where this sense of arrogance came from Nebraska for not shaking hands and stuff like that, but I feel like this is really turning into an actual like true rivalry.
Which is so fun, by the way. Well, it's mostly fun when you're on the winning side. When you're on the losing side, it's like, it's not really a rivalry. Like when we lost to Iowa State this year, I was like, it's fine because they're not even in our conference. Not a big deal. It's
good to see one like that blooming though. You know what I mean? Know.
Yes,
it's really
cool.
It
is. It's a lot of fun. And just fun to see like the guys get into it too. I don't know. Just adds a little.
It's not something you normally see.
A little extra to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I love to see like Reese being from Australia. It's like, yeah. When it was when it was Iowa State week, like I was just really excited, really wanted to win that one. You know, like to a guy that grew up in Iowa, it's like, well, yeah, of course. Like, you know exactly what it's about. But him just like being here for as long as he has, he's like, no, I get it. Like, I understand it. I feel like now he'll really understand the Nebraska one too.
Yes.
So,
yes.
It was fun.
Absolutely true.
Good game. So we know who the hero of the game was, which of course, well, there's probably two of them. You could say Max Llewellyn and Drew Stevens. So those are the heroes of the game. What do you have for unsung hero or heroes of the game?
Well, so don't hate me, John. Back to back, I'm going with two. But really, the unsung hero is Nebraska's defense because they couldn't tackle Caleb Johnson. They had 3 guys on him at one time, and they all just didn't. And then he ran away from the rest. But there were 2 Herculean efforts on that play that I'm going to point out on our side, even though they were all bad. Luke Lachey and Nick DeYoung. So we're in a 3-by-1 set, okay? And so basically Lachey, Seth Anderson, and I'm blanking on the guy on the outside. I don't think it was Gill. I think it was Jerry Bowie. We're blocking for a quick bubble screen, okay? Well, the tough part is Nick DeYoung is the right tackle, and his end, who would normally rush the passer, so his job is easy, sees the pass and bolts. So Nick DeYoung now has to block his guy for the entirety of the time that Caleb Johnson's getting it. But he can't just block him out, because if he blocks him out, that's where Caleb Johnson is going. So he has to try and hook him and keep him inside so Caleb Johnson has a place to run the ball. That is unbelievably difficult when you start in a pass set and then you have to run out to get there. The second thing is Luke Lachey actually misses his guy. You know, he doesn't even touch him, and he turns back and goes, oh, that's my guy. And so he sticks his foot in the ground, comes back, gets his helmet in front of the guy. That's the whole difference between blocking the back and not, is whether or not you get your helmet in front. Gets his helmet in front. He and Nick DeYoung actually hit each other as they're blocking their guys to create a seam for Caleb Johnson to break through. So Nick DeYoung the whole time had to block somebody and reach him from that position, which is not easy on somebody that's already outside leverage. Luke Lachey missed his guy, came back, did that, and then Caleb Johnson made the rest of the defense look like Nebraska. And for that, Unsung Heroes brought to you by JB Roofing. Nebraska defense, Luke Lachey, and Nick DeYoung.
Cool. 3 of them.
3.
3 in 1. Black Friday deal.
Oh, on Talkin Hawks. I love it.
Okay. Thank you, John.
He doesn't have a mic.
John said, that was fire. Okay, well, before we get into the interview, Matt, we're not going to be back for a really long time after this episode.
Not really a long time, just for a little bit.
For a little while, because obviously the Hawks aren't playing. So we've got some time before the bowl game. Whatever that bowl game looks like, I'm seeing some people say we're playing Alabama, or maybe we could play Tennessee, or maybe Ole Miss. We could be going to the, what is it called? Hold on, I need to look at it. The ReliaQuest Bowl? I don't even know what that is. Maybe Music City, which would be so great. You could go watch Dallas. Also potentially playing Clemson. I have no idea. Alabama would be fun just because it's Alabama. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? Maybe a New Year's Eve bowl. That would be lovely.
It all comes down to what Big Ten teams make the playoff, right?
Oh, sure.
So if 4 teams make the playoff, which would be Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, and Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
If those 4 make it, that makes us one of the next Big Ten teams.
Oh, gotcha.
So then we would get a higher bowl because of that. Now, let's say Indiana falls out, or if one of the other teams falls out, Penn State, whatever, then that would make them the next, right? And so we just fall down. But if those 4 do make the playoff, we've got an opportunity to go to a better bowl, which I don't know if we're going to make a New Year's 6. I don't know if that's all part of the college football playoff now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure on the bowl stuff, so I'll do my research until we come back. But the fact of the matter is, if those 4 make it, that makes us number 5 or 6 in the Big Ten, and we got an actual opportunity to go to a really good bowl.
Cool. So yeah, we will see. But whenever that comes out, whenever we are getting prepped and ready for the bowl game, we will have a preview of that game as well as another exclusive interview, of course. And I think I have a really good idea of who that's going to be.
Who?
I can't tell you.
Me.
It's a surprise. It's a Christmas
No
surprise.
more Black Fridays?
Don't open until Christmas. I'm full of it.
Something.
All right. We're going to get into that interview with Dalles Jacobus. Stick around. We'll be right back. Need a new roof, gutter, or siding in Eastern Iowa? Call JB Roofing and Construction, the local and reliable roofer with over 20 years of experience. They do one roof at a time, unlike others who juggle multiple projects and cut corners. They also serve a 45-mile radius around Kelowna and help you with any insurance claims. Don't wait. Call 319-656-ROOF or visit their website, jbroofingkelowna.com, for a free estimate. JB Roofing and Construction, the small town roofer you can trust. Matt, did you know that Iowa City Tire does more than just tires?
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been servicing vehicles in the corridor for 40 years.
Right, but did you really know that before someone had to tell you?
No.
Check out how they're doing things in a very different way at Iowa City Tire and Service, where service actually comes first.
The Appliance Barn offers a wide range of high-quality appliances at unbeatable prices.
Whether you're in the market for a new refrigerator, dishwasher, or washing machine, they've got you covered.
They also have a delivery and setup department to ensure your appliances get delivered and installed quickly. To find out more, visit appliancebarn.com.
All right, Hawkeye fans. Well, we haven't had that many alumni in the studio with us, and today we are lucky enough to have a fantastic Iowa football alum with us. He is a former defensive lineman, and now he's a Nashville recording artist. And if you were at the Nebraska game, and there was one other game, you would have heard his song, We Wave, during the Iowa Wave. Everyone, please welcome Dalles Jacobus.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
How's it going?
Living the dream.
I know you
Are
are.
you warmer now than you were Friday night?
Dude, I was so cold. I lost all my cold tolerance. It's gone.
Well, that's what I was talking to you before we went out, and I was like, gosh, I don't know how you guys don't wear sleeves, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh yeah, the adrenaline. And once you're moving around, it's not too bad. But on Friday, you couldn't handle it.
No, I could not. Dude, I used hand warmers for the first time in my life. It was so bad.
Well, what's the second coldest game in Kinnick?
Really?
Yeah. The coldest was 2013 against Michigan.
Okay.
When Hitch ripped Devin Gardner to win it.
Yeah.
But I said this was the second coldest.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Torture a little
I believe it.
Torture.
I mean, it was. I've been colder once in my life, and that was Pinstripe Bowl.
That's what you're
That
talking
was-
about.
That was terrible.
That was awful. And then you're just skating around on the field.
Mhm.
We had half guys changing to tennis shoes. The Boston College had their heater start on fire because guys were getting too
Yeah.
close.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, because they were really trying to
Yeah.
get warm, and then I don't know what caught, if it was a towel or something.
Yeah.
But
That
Mhm.
sock.
That was-
Yeah.
that's bad.
Well, those heaters, they throw heat out like crazy.
Yes.
I mean, we'd move it back on the D-line bench just because it was so dang hot.
Well, normally it's just the specialists huddled
Yeah.
up because they don't move all game.
Yeah.
I get it, but move out the way, buddy. There's no offense, Drew.
that
We
was nice
appreciate
being.
it.
I was on the other side of the field, so they weren't in our way.
That's fair. Well, you guys played together. What was your freshman year?
I got in 16,
Okay.
so right after the Big Ten championship. Yeah.
Gotcha. And right before you broke your foot.
Thanks.
But then, so you had said when I was talking to you on Friday night, you had said that you and Matt spent some time together, unfortunately, in the training room.
Yeah.
What kind of injury did you have while you were
So
here?
I injured my back. I herniated a lot of discs in my back and ended up pinching my sciatic nerve. So I was just, after that, I was in the training room just about every day. Dang. So yeah, the training room's good times. It's always
they got good people in there that take care of you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, top to bottom, it's training room. Don't want to be there, but you always have a good time in the training room.
Yeah. Oh man, that actually sounds really painful though.
It was so weird. So it was like the week after max outs, so it's super lightweight. We're doing like speed squats, and it was not heavyweight. And I went down for my first rep, and I just kind of felt something in my back, just kind of like decompress. And I dropped the weight because like it scared me. I'd never felt that. And Doyle told me, just hold up, like, something happened, and we don't want to aggravate it worse. So I went to the trainer that day, talked to him. Everything ended up fine. Like I was not in any pain. Next day, I wake up, my whole right leg's just cramped. Like it's like camp cramps. Like my whole leg's just locked up. And so I get up, I go in. They're like, "Hey, Dalles, how's your back doing?" I go, "Back's fine. I can't move my right leg though." So they rushed me over. Thought I had a blood clot. Did a bunch of imaging on that to see if I had a blood clot. Couldn't find anything. I'm like, well, maybe you tore something. And so they did a bunch of imaging on my muscles, couldn't find anything. They're like, finally, we're just gonna do a whole body scan on you. And got that back, and they're like, yeah, you did a number on your back there. So yeah, my what is it? T6S1, right where the sciatic nerve drops down, was swelling and pinching that nerve. And yeah, it was a long time. I think I missed almost the entire season.
Seriously.
Yeah. Just getting back, had a few steroid injections just to help the swelling go down. But yeah, it was weird.
Was it just one of those things you have to just wait until it stops?
Yes and no, because I mean, once you herniate a disc, like there's no getting it back, and it's gonna get aggravated. My problem is like I had so much pressure on my sciatic nerve that when it stopped hurting, like it was like learning to use my leg again. Like I remember after it stopped hurting, they were running me through like drills, like doing like a cone drill, and I'd go to cut on my right leg, and I would just like it wouldn't activate to push off the ground, and I'd just fall over, and it was so weird coming back from that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it, but
that's actually like scary.
Yeah, no, it was not
bit?
fun. Well, and just like the steroid injections, they were epidural, so same type of injection that pregnant women get.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, dang.
Yeah.
Long needle. They pulled that out, and I'm like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so yeah, I shuffled around for a good probably 4 or 5 months, just trying to loosen it up and get back to where I could play. But yeah, I never put a bar on my shoulders ever again. Did the pit shark, a lot of that, a lot of RFE stuff, Bulgarian.
Sure.
But yeah,
RFE meaning rear foot elevated for those that don't know, kind of like Bulgarians.
Yeah. So yeah, I did a lot of that, and dumbbell. Never did cleans or snatches, just with a bar, just a lot of dumbbell work. But yeah, they did a really good job managing it. I'd have a flare up here and there, but just the strength staff in the athletic training room, they did a really good job managing it, and making sure that I was on the field. So
dang.
Yeah, but
that's insane. Does it still bother you now?
No, surprisingly, towards the end of my career, we did a lot of pelvic floor. I don't know if you were there when we started doing the pelvic floor exercises. It was a new thing. I think it was right after you left. We started doing the pelvic floor, and it's the same exercises they have pregnant ladies do, like for flexing your pelvic floor. And what that does is it sets your alignment and activates your muscles in a manner in which your pelvis is in the optimum spot. So we did a lot of that, and I just kept doing that.
Was that a part of like a corrective, or was that a part of like the team?
No, it was a whole team thing. It was they did some research, and they decided to implement it, kind of like the nose breathing. Finish a set. Dang, you weren't there for that either. I'm trying to think.
Buddy, I'm old.
Yeah, you're not that old. But it was one of those things where they came in and it was something that they wanted to try out and see. And we started doing the pelvic floor exercises. Dude, squats went through the roof.
Interesting.
Guys were, because it's similar to the Valsalva. Before you squat, you do that. So if you do that along with a pelvic floor flex, it sets you up perfectly to do the lift and increase the stability through your lumbar and into your glutes and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they implemented that, and
So we need to start working out together.
Yeah.
yeah. But
That's
it's
crazy.
it's been. I really haven't had a real flare up since probably late 2019.
Dang.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
and obviously a little less strenuous on the body now.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
A guitar is a little lighter then.
Yeah, a lot lighter. I can carry that all day.
Travel
Right.
more or less squats, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're from Iowa.
Yep.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Kennedy, Cedar Rapids, Kennedy.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I'm from Palo, Iowa. The Kennedy district just
Mhm.
spreads out just far enough to where I could sneak in there. But-
Nice. Did you have
Yeah.
any other offers other than Iowa, or how did you get here?
So I was a track athlete. I was
Really?
I was good shot putter. I was good at discus, but there wasn't much upside because I'm not too tall.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had offers from Iowa, Iowa State, all the Dakota schools
For track?
for track, yeah,
Huh.
and UNI. So I
Dang.
was actually, before I told my mom I was going to commit to Iowa for track, unless Iowa football offered me a walk-on spot. And that day, Coach Morgan called me at lunch and offered me a preferred walk-on. So I had to call my mom and be like, hey, I'm going to Iowa, but not for track. She's like, what? What? Like, she thought I
Wow.
was just going to hang it up. But I was like, no, Iowa football offered me. And so, yeah, I said yes on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did that football recruiting process go?
So Sean, my
Mhm.
roommate and, good buddy,
Sean Meyer.
he was getting recruited a lot by Iowa, and by proxy, we were always in the same vicinity.
Sure.
So like Coach, where I got on the radar, Coach Morgan had come to a track meet to see Sean, a few of the Iowa City guys, and he just happened to be walking by the shot put, and I was just getting after it, having a good time. I was the only one yelling. It's like 7:00 in the morning, cold, spring morning in Iowa. And I'm just out here screaming and throwing the shot put. And Coach Morgan went up to Coach White, our head football coach, and like, who's that kid? Like, I like the way he competes. And that was kind of where I got on the board, went to camp. I knew I wasn't a scholarship guy. I mean, I'm a 6-foot defensive lineman. Not going to be a scholarship guy, but, grew up watching Iowa, and I knew that was, it's always been one of my goals to play, wear the Tiger Hawk and do that. So as soon as I got the offer, I was sold. I was doing it.
Was there any other football schools that were interested?
I had preferred walk-ons to like most of the MVC, like South Dakota State, South Dakota.
Okay.
I was in talks with Western Illinois,
Gotcha.
all them, but no like scholarship offers. And I knew that wasn't, something that I really wanted to do, because at the end of the day, I was a much better track athlete than I was football.
Hmm.
And there was a lot more up end for me to do track. But the one thing that was going to get me to play football was Iowa. Yeah. And worked out.
Coach
That's
Morgan
cool.
happened to be in the right place at the right
Yeah.
time.
Well,
wild.
that's Coach Morgan thing.
Yeah.
Coach Morgan's always in the right place.
So then you get to Iowa, and kind of your music career started while you were still playing, or was it like
So that back
shortly after?
injury that I had.
Yeah.
So that was in my third year. I hurt my back. We went to the Outback Bowl for the second time in 3 years. And we get the $400 gift card from the
Mhm.
school as a gift for I had like $402 to my name.
Nice.
And I took that gift card and went to Musicians Pro Shop right there off of Gilbert Street, and walked in and spent all $400 on a guitar that I didn't know how to play. And I got home and I was like, well, I got it figured. So I go on YouTube, and I looked up country song guitar teacher. And there's a dude with that exact name, and he does beginner lessons. And so just learned the basic 4 chords and kind of ran from there. But it was 6 months after that, I was up in Minnesota on a fishing trip, and that was when We Wave kind of just hit me, and I was like, well, I got to finish this one. So yeah, it was kind of the start. There was just the basic 4 chords to country music, and just on a whim writing a song that I wasn't even trying to write.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you knew you could sing before you bought the guitar?
Yeah. So I mean, I did all the choirs. I did chamber choir. I beatboxed in the a cappella choir. Like
beatbox.
Yeah, that was I wanted to be a beatboxer when I was in like middle school.
That's
I saw it. It was
so
cool. But
wow. All right.
Yeah. So shoot, what were we talking about? I just ADD'd really bad. I started thinking about beatboxers.
Beatboxing? Well, I was about to ask you to do some beatboxing.
I gotta take this lip out.
I was gonna say, you got something in there. No, you good.
That's okay. Yeah. All right. So then you were in all the choirs. That's why I said, did you know you knew you could sing?
Yeah. So, and I, had gotten a few solos here and there. Mm-hmm. I knew I could hold a tune, but it's one of those things where there's really no way to compare it. Like, it's not like football. You can go out, compete, and, objectively.
Scoreboard tells you who won or who lost, or that play, know who won or who lost.
Exactly. There's no objective reality to it. And, I have older brothers, so I am forced to be humble. So like it was when I knew I could sing. I just didn't know I was really good. Like mm-hmm. I would, stand out. And I never really planned on doing anything with music. I just, for whatever reason, wanted to buy a guitar. And, threw a few videos up, and, like Parker Hesse and Matt Nelson were like, that's actually really good. Like I was expecting to, locker room talk, have a little, crap talking but no, like it was very positive. And so I just kind of stuck with it, and one thing led to another. It's been.
What was the first video that you made then? When you're going to show your boys, like, all right, this is the song I'm going to sing.
I think I did, I Know She Ain't Ready by Luke Combs. That was the first song I wrote. Or not wrote, I learned to play on guitar. And like I said, guys in the D-line room were positive about it. And I was like, oh, maybe I could figure something out with this.
No.
Were you nervous to walk in after you posted? Were you nervous to walk in the next day?
Like, because like, like
they're going to razz you.
Yeah. Like always, like no matter what you do, even if it's like really cool, like they're
going to find something.
They're going to pick it apart. And,
right.
And that's just how it is in the locker room. You're around a bunch of dudes that are all close to each other.
That's how they know they like you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either really genuine or they're going to act like they hate it.
Yeah.
Like that's about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny about the like, what is it called? Per diem that you get for bowl games.
Yeah.
You had
and as a walk-on, like that was all I got all year.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. Dang. Okay. So then you post those videos, and then kind of from there, like how did everything kind of progress?
Yeah. So We Wave, I was up in Minnesota fishing, and that song came to me. I got home, I sat down with my brother, Todd Gusta, and we finished that song in like, probably 30 minutes. It was a very quick write.
Wow.
And even then I'd never planned on sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause with something like The Wave, it's a very heavy experience, and you don't know all sides of the spectrum. Like, I thankfully have never, been in a hospital with a kid. And none of my family had, very serious health issues like that. So, it's kind of hard to, you kind of feel like, imposter syndrome, where
mm-hmm.
I don't know what that life's like, even though with football, you get a glimpse into that, and you do a lot of stuff at the hospital, and you're visiting kids and families and stuff, but you never truly know.
Mm-hmm.
So I never planned on sharing that song. I shared it with my roommates and, a few of my close family members and friends. And I was actually at Byers' families. They do like a end of the year bonfire, just massive bonfire potluck. And his mom is honestly one of the smartest people I know in this world. And she was plugging in a speaker, and she's like, Dalles, I can't figure out this microphone. Like, will you help me? And I'm like, how are you not figuring this out, Don? Like, you were literally the smartest person I know, and you can't figure out how to plug in an XLR cord.
Mm-hmm.
So she hands me the microphone, hands me the cord. I plug it in. I'm feeling cool. I'm like, yeah, I helped out Don Byer with something. And then she goes, all right, sing your song. And I'm like, well, I don't have a guitar. She goes, that's fine. I have it queued up on my phone, the video you made. You can just sing to that. I was like, okay. And Yeah.
Yo, talk about a coming out party.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, so I sing it, and I've never said this before, but it was a very large party. I was probably about 20 beers deep at the time. I'm sitting there in a cutoff and shorts, and
You were already country singer at that point.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
destined.
So I sing this song. It goes well. I'm reading the lyrics off my phone, and his cousin took a video and posted it on Facebook. And the next day she posted it. I go to bed. It's at like 2,000 views. It's been up for a couple hours. I'm like, that's really cool. Like that's a lot of views. I was excited, and I wake up the next morning and it's at like 60,000. I'm like, oh gosh. And then it kept going up. Between the university hospitals post and the university's post, like it was over 1 million views. I was like, shoot, like maybe I got something here. Like maybe I can, really, make something out of this. So I started, kind of feeling out. I was still playing ball at the time. So you can't be downtown past, 10 o'clock during the week. And on the weekend, you're tied up. So, I kind of started putting out feels, and, when some dude I ran into downtown asked me to, open up for him at the Airliner. It was a one-off show. I finished at 9:45 so I could get out of there by 10.
That's awesome.
And that was my first show. And I really kind of, football, you have to focus on football and your studies. There's really not an option for a lot outside of that. And especially not enough to, plan shows, travel for shows, all that.
Oh,
fun
for
stuff.
sure. Especially not in season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I just kind of, hung it up. Still play guitar every now and again, but then COVID hit, and like for me, that was like honestly one of the best things. For I'm stuck in my house all day with nothing to do. So I mean, I played guitar probably 5-6 hours a day, just learning songs, trying to write songs and all that, and it really matured me as an artist to a point where I was confident enough where I could play guitar on stage by myself and not have to hire somebody to play guitar. So coming out of COVID,
you would have been what? That would have been your 4th year?
Yeah. So that was my 5th year. COVID was my 5th year.
COVID was your 5th. Okay.
Yeah. And so coming out of COVID, I booked a show. I was working construction. I booked a show it's called Whiskey River in Palo, Iowa. So the bar.
We've been.
Yeah.
Parents
Yeah.
love Whiskey River.
Dude, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I booked a show there. There's still like restrictions on, capacity for the building.
Oh, sure.
So I'm at work. I'm still at work. I work in Davenport. I'm at a construction site in Davenport, and I get a picture of Whiskey River, and there's a line through the parking lot out the door. And then I get a text like probably 20 minutes later, still at work, and they're like, they just got a ticket, so they're letting everybody in. So I get off work, haul home, get showered up, get dressed up, head to Whiskey River, and I get there 2 hours before the show, and it's wall to wall with people. So like it had been, I played I think from 6 to 9. No, it would have been 8 to 11 that time. I got there just after 6, and it was wall to wall with people and a line out the door. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, this was just supposed to be a fun thing. Like, mom and dad are there. A few of my buddies come out, have some beers, and it just turned into this just crazy supportive thing. And I'm like, well, now I love it. It was an absolute nightmare. I was trying to run my own sound. Didn't know a lick about sound. So it's just feedback. I got speakers running around the whole room, all facing back at the mic, just a big feedback loop for about an hour and a half of it. Oh, no. And yeah, it was Scott Sable's there from KCRG. I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare. But like, I knew right then, like it's like your first time going out on a swarm. Like you just like, there's no other feeling. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, I'm doing this 100%. So got a few gigs at El Rey's here in Iowa City, and ended up getting like a residency there, playing every Tuesday night, 10 to close. And then from there, Airliner started to want to do music again. So I was playing there on Wednesdays.
Do you get paid for every show? I apologize for interrupting, but like for these one-offs, is it like, hey, we'll pay you come in, or is it, hey, I'm going to go do my stuff. I'm not going to get paid, but I'm at least trying to get my name out there.
So it depends on everything. where you're at, in your career. So the first time I played Whiskey River, I think I agreed to like $100 for 3 hours, and I was like, that's $33 an hour.
Right.
Well, you came from construction.
Yeah.
What were you at that point?
Construction. So I came in with no like construction experience. So I started construction. I was working $12 an hour.
So 33 sounds pretty
Yeah.
nice.
I was like, dude, this is awesome. like sign me up.
Yeah.
And I got to the end of it, and the owner, Mark Ralston, super, super good dude. I went to school with this kid. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna give you a little extra. We did really well tonight, and coming out of COVID, businesses are hurting. He gave me few extra $100. Like,
oh dang.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. He goes, trust me, I made 10 times that tonight. He goes, don't you worry one bit. And so I you negotiate with every show, but early on I was just excited, $100, $33 an hour. Right? I was ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And I'm reaching out to guys. I'm like, hey, like how much are you charging? Like, I'm doing, 3-hour show, $100. You're like, I would laugh at them. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, this is good money.
Right,
like,
right.
And I had a few, same instance, I had a few bar owners. I was playing, Vito's and in the stadium lounge in Cedar Rapids, just hopping bars, mulligans. And, one of the owners of the bar came up to me. He's like, hey man, I want to talk to you. And I was like, just finished sound check. And I'm like, oh, what'd I do? Like, did I swear into the mic or something? And, he pulled me aside. He's like, hey dude, like, this is what I made last week. This is what I made this week. You should ask for more. I'm just like it's crazy. And then you go to Nashville and they're like, hey, 4 hours, we'll give you $100 for a band. Have fun. But I mean, at that point, it's not, it's so saturated. They could fire every band on Broadway and they'll be up and running 10 a.m. tomorrow. But in its experience, you make good money on tips, and
it's all about people knowing you're an artist.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
To funnel them to you. Right?
And what's awesome about Nashville is you have a new crowd, every week.
Right.
So whereas when I'm in Iowa, I can play 2 hours from home, big circle of shows. But at the end of the day, I'm getting, one group of people here, one group of people here, one group of people here. And, there's only so many places to play in Iowa. So you're not, reaching out. Whereas when you're on Broadway, you're
getting all the tourist people coming in. Yep.
Yeah. And with Vanderbilt right up the road, you get, the track meets, people coming in for track meets and football games and volleyball games and all that. And so you just have new crowds from all over the country coming in all the time. And, it's like traveling, but you get to be in your own bed at night, which is awesome.
Locally owned and operated, Performance is a full-service restoration company serving Eastern Iowa.
As an IICRC certified firm, their multi-licensed technicians have decades of experience in water, mold, and fire mitigation. Whether it's your home or business, this is the team you want in a time of need. Performance Restoration, 319-626-2292.
Hey Hawk fans, looking for the perfect spot to fuel up before or celebrate after a Hawkeye win? Look no further than Marquee Pizzeria, located in the vibrant Iowa River Landing.
Their wood-fired pizzas have truly changed the pizza game.
Whether you're cheering on the Hawkeyes or just searching for a delicious meal, Marquee Pizzeria is the place to be. Swing by and experience the best pizza in Iowa. Go Hawks. I love Estella's because it's fresh, from the fresh grilled steak to salsas to their fresh pressed tortillas.
I love Estella's because it's quick. We can get in and out and it doesn't feel like fast food. It feels like fresh food quick.
We both love Estella's because it's made with love. They put a lot of pride in their food and customer service, and they are locally owned.
That's Estella's Fresh Max. Fresh food made quick with love. When it comes to keeping our home comfortable, we trust only the best. Loudon Plumbing and Heating. Whether it's fixing a leaky sink, keeping the house cool, or making sure the furnace runs smoothly in winter, Loudon Plumbing and Heating is our go-to. For reliable service, trust the corridors best. Loudon Plumbing and Heating.
Looking to make a splash online in Eastern Iowa? Digital Boost is your local go-to digital marketing agency. They help local businesses connect with their ideal customers online.
Digital Boost has a diverse client base, ranging from small businesses to industry leaders, including well-known brands like DNR Pest Control and Advanced Millwork.
Visit their website at www.digitalboostia.com to learn more or contact them for a free in-person consultation. Hawkeye fans, get ready for the game with Big Grove. As an official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes, we're excited to bring you the ultimate game watching experience. Enjoy fan favorites like Easy Eddie and Citrus Surfer while cheering on the Hawks. Can't make it to Carver? Go to biggrove.com and enter for your chance to win Hawkeye tickets all season long. Or join us at any of our 4 Iowa locations in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Solon, where you can get out of the cold and enjoy warm hospitality while watching the game. Big Grove Brewery, your official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes, all season long. Go Hawks!
What was the thing that happened that made you say, okay, that's it, I'm moving to Nashville?
So I'd been wanting to move to Nashville for a while. So we moved in March of 2023. I had wanted to move to Nashville since like the beginning of 2021. Like after my full first year playing shows, I was just like hooked on it. I was like, I need to go to Nashville. And I had gotten to the point in 2022 where I had played, everywhere that I was capable of playing in Iowa and not being at the next level. Like I hadn't played, the Wells Fargo Arena. I hadn't played the big arenas. And I knew that wasn't somewhere that I was going to get to, if I stayed.
Based on that circuit.
Yeah. And so I actually, there's a house listing on Facebook, and I sent it to Caleb Shudak, my other roommate who was kicking for the Titans at the time. And I was like, hey dude, I know you're looking for a spot. Like it's got a really good deal for Nashville. He's like, I'll split that with you if you want to move in. So I texted Kate, my girlfriend. I was like, hey, we're moving to Nashville in March. This is December. And she goes, okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, we ended up down there March 6th. We moved down and just kind of hit the ground running.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a manager now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you get hooked up with something like that? Like, how does that all happen? Because now you're playing on Broadway, like pretty consistently.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, so when I moved to Nashville, I was working security. And I worked my way up to a lead of security at Dirks Bentley Whiskey Row. And we host an event called Whiskey Jam, which is like very historic in Nashville. Like everybody's played it. I mean, from Luke Combs' Jelly Roll, like everybody's played it. And so I was bumping shoulders with a guy named Ward Gunther, who is a big name in Nashville. Just doing Whiskey Jam stuff for him. And, in Nashville, being a singer is not special. Like nobody cares. And, Ward had found out that I was a singer. He's like, why didn't you tell me you're a singer? I'm like, Ward, like with all due respect, I know you mean well in this, but if you had a random security guard come up to you and be like, hey, I'm a singer, you'd be like, great. So is everybody else. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's, and, I just cultivated relationships with people and, I just met the right people and was just genuine with them. I've never asked for anything in Nashville. It's just been, good people, offering, whether it's gigs or connections. It's just been such a good place to be and just meeting the right people and being genuine and they want to help people out too. Like, I think it's human nature to want to help and, but you also want to help good people. And that's just been, my saving grace is just creating relationships and, whatever happens. And, I've just been very grateful to meet the right people at the right time in the right place, down there. So yeah.
That is the walk-on mentality.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, I did not expect you to say you were working security when you first went down there.
Yeah. I worked security like full time, like up until probably June of this year.
Really?
Yeah, I was full time. I didn't really start getting gigs. I got another, relationship I made. There was a last minute call out. They needed a band to fill in at Barstool there in Nashville. And he texted me. He goes, hey, can you put a band together in 2 hours? I go, probably not, but yes. I took the gig. I took the gig and, thankfully I was able to pull it off. And, it was just a one-off show, and from that one show, Barstool was like, oh, we like that guy. Like we want him. And 2 weeks later, I'm playing 5 shows a week at Barstool in Nashville. And from there, just growing your stock, other places started reaching out to me and want me to play. And then it's just been like a snowball effect. I was playing it really slow. I wasn't out. They say you got to go network in Nashville, which is just go to the bar, and talk to people. And I did enough of that beforehand. So,
Right.
you know, it's not my style. And, you know, a lot of people, I want to meet people in the right situations. I don't want to meet people, you know, when they're out drinking and they're drunk and, you know, they're talking about whatever, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, talking big and then, you know, get their number, text them. And then they're like, who's this guy? So I like to play, you know, slow. You just meet people in the right scenarios. You know, when I was working security, I'd talk to every artist that came in, you know, just pick their brains. And it's been just such a blessing. Like security was honestly one of the best things I did in Nashville, just for meeting people. And then you find, you know, people want to help, and it's crazy.
It's really cool that you were in a position where your job was to serve others.
Yeah.
And now you're getting the opportunity where they're serving you.
Yeah.
And helping you get where you need to go.
Yeah.
One other thing that kind of caught my attention. So Sean Byer, I'm assuming he was one of your roommates.
Yeah.
Caleb Shuduck was a roommate.
Yep.
So Sean Byer, through that relationship, is where everything started because his mom pulled a trick on you.
Yeah. 100%.
And you got that.
Yeah.
And then you get to Nashville because your other roommate decided to split with you.
Yeah.
While he's kicking in the league.
Yeah.
So what other roommates do you have? And what are the next jumps
Oh, shoot.
that they're going to make?
Well, we got
Pressure's
Spiewak.
on.
We got Spiewak.
Okay. So Austin's somewhere out there.
Well, he's like, he is so good with, you know, finances, money, stock market stuff.
There you go.
So,
There it is.
yeah, I mean, I already told him, I'm like, once I have money, you are going to be in charge of it. But
genius.
My goodness.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
man.
it's you know, it's crazy how the world works. You know, if you go about it the right way and you go with the, you know, clear eyes and open heart, I just Friday Night Lights it. But
Hey,
can't lose.
I
No,
wasn't
but,
going to say anything.
but yeah, if you go into it, you know, with a genuine outlook and you know, just trying to be a positive impact in the world, you find that, you know, things just happen. They work out.
This is just so like Iowa football. Like,
Yeah.
no way. It's the Iowa way,
Yeah.
you know, of
Yeah.
like, you do the little things, you treat people right,
Mhm.
right? Like the little things.
It's
add
almost
up to
like
the big
there's a
things.
method of the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like being a good person works. It's crazy.
Yeah. Something
Well, and
like that.
that's the thing. Like down there, like, you know, I like to think I'm a nice guy, but like people down there are like, you're so nice. I'm like, not really. Like, I just, you know, I help when I'm asked to help. I do what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm not out here, you know, running food shelters and stuff. Like, I don't, you know, necessarily go out of my way to be nice. Like, I'm just genuine. Like, I'm happy to see people. Like, I enjoy having relationships with people and seeing what good they can do and trying to bring that out. And on the flip side, it brings out the best in me too. So, yeah. And it's crazy. Like how people think I'm nice. I'm just like, I'm not nice. I just try to do what's right most of the time. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
One thing that I've always wanted to know. So you said like We Wave came to you when you're in Minnesota. Do the lyrics come and then the sound behind it, or does the sound come and then you write lyrics to match the sound?
So it depends. You can, you know, skin a cat 100 ways. Sometimes like We Wave, it was lyrics, but it was also a melody. Problem with that is I knew nothing about music theory, nothing about guitar. So I was just singing the melody that was in my head and trying to find where
How the beats would work
yeah.
with the gotcha.
Yeah. So in that instance, it was lyrics and melody came and then everything followed up. But, you know, sometimes like when I am writing, I'll just sit there and play chord progression for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then an idea will pop in my head and then I'll run with it from there. Other times it's just an idea of a song and I'll sit there and be, you know, for instance, Bad Day to Be a Beer. We were going to write an upbeat party song to that. And CJ Gaston, the guy that I wrote that, and the one that I wrote for the gala, we were going to write a party song. And he was like, what if we made it like a breakup song? Like, it's a bad day to be a beer, like, because you know, you're drinking because you're sad. And then, so we were starting with a, you know, major progression, and then we switched it into a minor progression, which, you know, by the sounds of it, minor's sad, major's happy. And then at that point, the song took off and we ran from there. But yeah, it just depends. And sometimes you're in a right and you build a track, like a complete track with lead guitar, bass, drums, and then you write to it. It just depends on, what room you're in, who you're writing with, their styles. If you have a producer available, there's no right way to do it and there's no wrong way to do it.
When you're collaborating on songs, I imagine that there's a lot of, I don't like that. So when do you say, no, this is the rhythm, or everybody kind of sees it as this is the right rhythm?
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things about songwriting. You have to be in a room with people that you mesh with, because there's great songwriters out there that you'll sit down in a room with, like guys that have number ones. They're bona fide great songwriters. And if you don't mesh with them, it's just a lot of, back and forth, and you end up with nothing. So the trick is to cultivate a group of writers that you mesh well with and you can communicate well with. And, you are additive, not subtractive of their talents and your talents. So that's why I like CJ. I love writing with CJ because we're very different, but we also think very similarly. And we're also have no egos on anything. Like, he's had lines where I'm like, CJ, that's awful. And I've had lines where he's like, dude, there's no chance we're using that. Like, and it's just being an open book and finding the right people to do it with. Yeah.
How did you did you have any training at any point to figure out like there's that like rasp behind it?
So I think the rasp just comes from football. Okay. I lost my voice every Friday night during the football season in high school.
Gotcha.
And, same in college. So there's probably a little bit of vocal damage in there from that, which added to the rasp. It's okay. Yeah, no, 100%. But so the high school I went to, Cedar Rapids Kennedy, had a very good and I don't know the word now, but they had a really good program for music, and Storm Ziegler, is a very, very knowledgeable guy, and he spent a lot of time on the basics of singing with us. So whether it's breathing from your diaphragm or the placement of your sound, and where to use, different tips and little nuances in your voice. And so I like to think I have a very good base on singing, but I've never taken like a one-on-one lesson, if that makes sense.
Wow.
I did once, but it was my manager at the time. His cousin was like a Broadway, like New York Broadway singer, and very, very knowledgeable with singing, and was an actual vocal coach. And I did a couple lessons with him, and he told me, he's like, you have all the basics there, and I can teach you some stuff, but at the end of the day, your bases are there. You have good breathing, you have good placement. You're not, singing wrong and straining more than you need to. At the end of the day, like, as long as you're doing that, you can sing how you sing. It's you got to find your nuance in your sound. That makes
totally does.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question as we sort of kind of wrap up here. From when you were a bouncer, is that what you said? Like security, whatever you want to call it. Weirdest story or like most interesting story from that time?
Weirdest story. We had, there's a lot. We're gonna go with this. We had this group of probably 15 dudes from Ireland. Okay. And they are exactly what you think of a group of 15 Irish dudes coming into a bar. So bar open at 10 a.m. By 11:15, they've had each probably 20 beers, and they're just starting to get belligerent, starting to bump people. And I'm the only security guard on the floor. So I got to go up, and I'm like, all right, well, today's the day I get jumped. Like, it's gonna happen. And they were like being rude to people. Like it was time for them to go. And like, I was like just going up expecting to be like, hey, you guys got to go. And they're like, who's going to make me? And I'd be like, well, I guess I have to. And
I guess I have
You're
to.
down in your stance.
Well, I'm just sitting here like, all right, well, go out swinging.
Yeah.
And I walk up and I go to the biggest dude. I'm like, hey man, because like he was the one I was worried about. Like anybody else blindsides me, I have a chance. If he blindsides me, I'm gonna contact him.
Yeah.
So I go up and I tap him on the shoulder. I'm like, what's up, boss? How you doing? He goes, it's time to leave. I go, yep. He goes, all right.
And that was it?
I was like, yeah, that's sweet. Yeah. But I was like just overthinking it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, no, there's a lot of, we kicked out a dude, couldn't pay his tab. And it was a small tab. He had like 2 beers. It was, $25, whatever. And so we kicked him out, and we were very cordial with him. Just like, hey man, like if you can't pay your tab, you can't be in here. Like that's that. And so we walked him out, and then we just got 2 free beers. We're telling him, you just got to leave. You're good. Nothing. And he like tries to fight me.
No.
And so I just pick him up, put him down, just, and I have him on the ground, and he's swearing. I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to let you up. You're good to go. You don't have to pay your tab. We're not calling the police. Just leave. And that's that. He gets up, tries to fight me again. Pick him up, put him down. And then do the same thing.
Pick him up, put him down.
Well, literally, he had a few.
Sure.
So he's swinging. I just sidestep, pick him up, put him down. And
I'm just glad he didn't reference me when he was like, well, he's.
Yeah, he's small. Yeah, he's a little smaller.
but same thing, pick him up, put him down. And then he's yelling, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to let you up again. I go, if I have to do this again, we're calling the cops and you're going home in a police car. Like, that's that. And he gets up. He's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. Tries to fight me again.
No.
I'm like, dude, like, you're just asking to get arrested.
Oh, man.
And yeah, so we let him go. But
what about at a show? Has anything like really interesting happened? Any bras being thrown up on the stage? That's a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah, I like to cultivate my audience to not that crowd.
Fair.
No, but actually this happened a couple weeks ago. I was playing a show, and this lady wanted me to play a song, and I was like, I don't know it. She's like, well, what if I, I'm like, no, stop. I go, no, don't do that.
I still won't know it.
I go, that's not going to make me learn the song. Like, I'm like, it's just, yeah, some people just, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But
Nashville just,
people go to Nashville to let loose, and it's like they forget how to act. Like,
yeah, you're like, not that loose.
Yeah. I'm like,
jeez.
Just keep dancing. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that.
I will say I've got a newfound appreciation for singing, because first time I sang for Laura was not very good, and so I took lessons. So to let you in, we were doing our first dance together at the wedding. And was it your high school?
It was like one of my good friends from high school, and he's like an incredible singer. And I was like, I would love to have Leighton come in and sing our first dance song. Like that would just be incredible. And he was there. And so I was so excited. I hadn't heard him sing it. And it was like, this song is amazing.
I like how she sets it up like I'm the villain. That's how she set this up.
No, it's true. But I was so excited to hear this. And we're doing our first dance song, and he's singing along to the song. And I couldn't hear Leighton, and he just doesn't know how to carry a tune, like at all. Like just can't.
At the time.
Like find it. And I was like, Matt, you're ruining it. And
no. That's not what she said. She looked at me and said, don't ruin it. It was a command. It wasn't a, baby, you just need to. No, it was, don't ruin it. And so for our 5-year anniversary, I took lessons for three months. Took voice lessons for 3 months so I could sing that song for her. And there was a lot that I had to do. I had to bring down the tone, or bring down the key.
The key, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Bring down the key. I had to learn like how to sing, like where to come from and how to hit the notes. And we had to change a couple because dude was crazy when he was singing it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't think she remembers me singing it. She just remembers the night, which is good.
Yeah.
But so I've got an all new appreciation for those that can sing.
It's crazy how much goes into it. When you get into it, especially like when in Broadway, when I'm playing 8-9 shows a week. Yeah. That's whatever 8-9 times 4 is. But
the lung capacity alone, like trying to hold some of these notes, I was like, we gotta cut that. Like just short that up.
Well, I actually just released a cover 2 days ago of "Someone You Love" by Louis Capaldi.
Yeah, I just heard that.
And the bridge on that, he does that whole bridge in one breath.
No.
And
way.
like I was like listening to it when we were recording it, and I go, I'm like waiting for him to breathe. and it's big notes. Like it's real. It gets up there. And he did it all in one breath. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like dying halfway through this.
Mhm.
And like, we're starting to take like right on the start of it. So it's not like, I was singing before and I couldn't get a deep breath. Like I got a full deep belly breath. And I'm like, dude, and that's, I mean, there's just Louis Capaldi's incredible singer.
Yeah.
But like when you like get into the nuances of stuff and like, it's like, it was just like football or anything. If you look into it, there's guys that, look good, at receiver, but then you get breaking into it and you start breaking it down and you see like the angle of his first step to get, the DB to favor outside or inside, or you're pressing the inside shoulder. Like you get into the art of it and you're like you start to realize like, holy cow, like there's a lot more that goes into this. And yeah, and I didn't know that going into it either.
Yeah. It's like a gift, but a fine-tuned gift.
Yeah.
Like you can be a talented singer without having any
training.
Yeah, training or like technical skills. Same thing with like a receiver, defensive lineman. Like, by the way, thank you for bringing that full circle to the football conversation.
Yeah.
That was really well done. Nice bookend. Well, yeah, I remember actually it would have been a few years ago. You sang at the Solon football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was your first year Matt's first year coaching. And it was like our not banquet, but like a fundraising event. And I'd seen your videos, like that kind of stuff, right? And I was like, yeah, he's really good. And then you came and sang at that, and I was telling everybody I knew, like, no, he's like really good. Like, no, he can actually sing.
Yeah, it's crazy how different live versus the social media stuff is.
Yeah, makes a difference.
Yeah, it's the only way to consume music.
Well, and the other thing is too, like sometimes I see people, I'm like, oh man, they're really talented, but they're singing in a bathroom.
Yeah,
you always sound better in a bathroom.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They're built for it. I'm pretty sure I don't know who did it, but it was built for singing.
Totally, like a stairwell, like those metal or not metal, cement stairwells. Yeah, those are nice too.
Yeah.
Like anybody can sing in there.
Good
Anybody. You can go sing in a stairwell. No, but
I don't know how to go sing in a stairwell.
It's just been really cool to see just the evolution of everything that you've done from, being back in college and doing the social media videos, coming out to small town Solon football fundraisers, and now you're down in Broadway. And actually had the opportunity to watch you at Barstool when I was down in Nashville this past summer. And it was just so cool. It was so fun to watch. And
it's so fun seeing people from Iowa.
Yeah.
Like coming and like, so like when I'm performing, I almost always wear something Iowa.
Yeah.
And it's
smart.
Yeah. So I play with a girl down there, Lake and Erie. She's from Oklahoma. And we do this thing every show where she's like, anybody out there from Oklahoma? And sometimes there's one, maybe two. And then I'm like, we got anybody in here from Iowa? And there's always at least a group of 10.
Yeah.
and they're going to let you know they're there too. It's so
it's an easy drive, one-way flight or nonstop flight.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's built for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, Dalles, this has been so great. Hold on. Do you have something else?
Yes.
What?
Go ahead and plug yourself. Like, what do you have your own channel? Do you have like where can people find your music? Like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So social media, it's at Dalles Jacobus Music. Dalles is DALLES. If you spell that right, nobody else spells it like that. You'll find me just about anywhere. Spotify is just Dalles Jacobus. That just released that Someone You Love cover. I think it was on Wednesday, maybe. But yeah, stream music, following. Unfortunately, that's kind of the best way to support artists now. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's going to put money into anything is going to look at how many followers you have and what your fan base is. So we're really doing a big push to try to grow that now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, before you go, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, now you have something?
No, we would just love for you to just play a little something. You don't have to play a whole song. If you want to do We Wave, you want to do something else, like we would just love to throw it out there in case anybody hasn't heard you sing in a while. We also have some people that maybe haven't found you on social media. So if you just want to plug yourself a little bit with a little song, we would love to hear it.
100%. Yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
For sure. It's a cool fall morning on a Saturday. There's buzzing in the air. The boys got a home game. The whole city's gonna be there. And Kinnick starts to fill up with the hometown crowd. The speaker plays back in black and the boys swarm out. But our biggest fans are up above, yeah, looking over our shoulders, sitting waiting patiently for the end of the first quarter. When we wave to the kids that cannot play, put a big smile on their face every football Saturday. Yeah, we wave to help those kids let go, get the parents a little hope, bring those kids back home. When we wave, staying up on Friday night after a long, long week, you finally start to see a smile. There's a different energy. He wakes up at the crack of dawn, puts on his black and gold, sits there waiting eagerly to go up to the 12th floor, where he can wave with a big smile on his face and watch the Hawkeyes play and forget about his pain. Yeah, he waves and finally lets go. Mama's got some hope that he feels at home. When he waves for the boys and girls who never made it home, we won't let you go. We'll always remember you. When we wave, remember that smile on your face. You're the reason why we play. The pain's finally away. And we wait for your family back home. Your memory will live on. They'll never be alone. When we wait. Yeah, we wave.
It's so good, Dalles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Gosh dang it. And here's the best thing. Like, you're one of the best people I think we've ever met. Like, just genuine, as you said. And we just wish you like all of the success.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
Anything that we can do to help further your career from Iowa.
Yeah.
I know there's not a whole lot you can do here, but
I'm telling people, like, being from Iowa is a head start in the music world, because people are they're so excited to support Iowans.
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable how just supportive the state of Iowa is. You know, you put anything out, and as soon as they find out you're from Iowa, that's the trick, is letting them know you're from Iowa. They're going to support you. It's amazing.
It's so cool.
That was great.
Just unbelievably talented. And yeah, I'm like at a loss for words.
Same.
I was almost crying. I was smiling, like all the things. So Dalles, thank you so much. And also I want to give a shout out to your girlfriend, Kate, who we thought was your fiance for the longest time.
She might as well be.
Yeah. Just, can you hurry up? Just put a ring on it, okay? Anyway, she drives you.
I'm gonna hear about this on Monday.
Yeah. She drives you to and from Nashville to Iowa. You guys are driving through the night all the time. And she's just a fantastic person too. I'm sure you know all about.
Well, yeah, behind every good man is a great woman. So
turn it into a song. Come on. Gosh dang it. Okay, Dalles, thank you again. We really appreciate it. And again, just wish you all of the success.
Thank you. Appreciate it.